Hey Canucks fans, Jacob Markstrom wants to remain a Canuck. Now, will the two sides be able to get a deal done? I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clay Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and it's my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Wednesday, April the 22nd. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe, that you're staying healthy. And today, Jacob Markstrom just now actually did a Zoom call. He's the latest Canucks player to do a Zoom call with the media from his home in Sweden. And it was really good to hear from him, really good to see him and hear about his recovery from his injury, his outlook for the team, and his desire to stay with the team. So let's get into all these things. Overall, he didn't say anything that was completely, mind-blowing or that would come as a shock to any of us, but it was still nice to hear him say certain things. And it was certainly great to see him and to hear that first and foremost that he's staying safe, that he's healthy, and that he is indeed fully recovered from his knee injury. And he talked about the fact that if the season hadn't been postponed or paused, that they had pegged for the weekend near the end of March, where they had back-to-back games in California, that's when he was going to make his comeback, that he was going to play at least one of those two games and then ramp up towards the end of the season and into the playoffs. So that's good news, the fact that Markstrom is indeed healthy and was basically ready to go by the end of March. He talked about the fact that, yes, he did indeed get injured in that Boston game. In the second period, his knee started to tighten up on him. He wouldn't say that it was when Pastrnak deked him for a goal. He wouldn't say it was when Quinn Hughes kind of crashed into him accidentally. He didn't name the actual play. He simply said that it was starting to tighten up on him in the second period. Came out for the third, played, but knew something was wrong. And then he joked around that he told Alex Edler that Alex Edler would have to continue to, or even block more shots than usual to help him out. So that was kind of funny. Then, of course, they get on a plane the next day. They go to Montreal, and he can't practice. And that led to the whole leading into the trade deadline, where the Canucks end up picking up Louis Domingue as a backup for Thatcher Demko, who's going to come in because Markstrom was hurt. So it is indeed confirmed that it was during the Boston game, but he didn't say which play it was. But he talked about how confident he was that he would be able to come back, that it was a minor surgery, minor procedure, and that the good news is, like I said, that he was ready to go by the end of March, ready to play. A couple lighter questions. He talked about Alex Edler being the one Canucks player, his teammate that he would like to be quarantined with, because they get along so well, the fellow Swedes. They spend a lot of time together in Sweden and in Vancouver. And he said he actually did not pick Jake Virtanen. I think he's the first Canuck player not to pick Virtanen as the guy he'd least like to be quarantined with. He actually picked Tyler Myers, and his reason was kind of funny. He basically said because if Myers was in the house, then Jacob Markstrom wouldn't be the tallest guy in the house, and he would like to be the tallest guy. So kind of a light, fluffy answer, but it was fun, a good-natured answer nonetheless. Then they talked a little bit about the contract and his desire to stay in Vancouver. So it's not like we'd expect him to come out and say, no, I don't want to play here anymore, or they better be able to pay me $7 million a year. He said all the right things. He said that he recognizes how loyal Vancouver has been to him, bringing him up, since he got traded, but working him through Utica all the way up to the pros. And then, of course, not only were the Canucks loyal to Markstrom, Markstrom has been very loyal to the Canucks, and basically coming off 2 career seasons, and especially this season in a year with so much adversity, starting with the death of his father in early fall, and then playing lights out throughout, and then ending his season with the injury. So a lot of adversity, yet he had a really, really good season, 2 really good seasons back to back. And he said that he wants to play in Vancouver. He wants to stay in Vancouver, but he was also quick to note that, I should turn my computer off here, that he was also quick to note that right now there hasn't been a lot of contract movement, a lot of contract talks, because there's so much uncertainty, not just with the salary cap this year, for next year because of COVID, but overall because they don't even know what's going to happen this season, and it's a snowball effect, right? Are they going to come back this season, and then what's the salary cap going to be, and then so on and so forth. And I think that's the biggest thing, aside from his health, which is good. That's the biggest question that we Canucks fans have about Jacob Markstrom is his contract situation. And I know I get asked all the time on my live stream, who would you pick, Markstrom or Toffoli, if you could only sign one? And admittedly, I've been leaning towards Toffoli, because I would really love to see him in our top 6, and it would give Demko a chance to flourish. But in listening to Markstrom talk and in seeing these top 10 saves of the year and just recognizing how good he's been over the past 2 seasons, I don't want to choose anymore between Markstrom and Toffoli. I would love for the Canucks to find a way to sign both of them. I'm sure if Tyler Toffoli did a Zoom call I'd be talking about how much I want, how badly I want them to sign Toffoli. But in listening to Markstrom and seeing him and recognizing how valuable he was to our team, yeah, I would really like the Canucks to find a way to sign him. But as I've always been saying, if for whatever reason it doesn't work out for whatever reason, we at least have Thatcher Demko as not even a fallback. I don't even want to say that as a goalie ready to step up and take the reins, so to speak. Very reminiscent of Luongo Schneider and other combinations that we've had here. So we'll see what happens there. But yes, Jacob Markstrom, obviously a huge piece of this team. Also talked about the outlook for the Vancouver Canucks, and he says that he's not even looking down the road or in the future. He thinks the Canucks are ready now to make the big step and to maybe do some damage right now, whether it's the end of the regular season or the playoffs if it happens, or if we have no hockey for the rest of the year at the start of next season. But he made a point of saying it's not just about the future, it's that the Canucks are ready to go right now. So overall, it was a great interview with Markstrom. Like I said, nothing he said that was mind-blowing, but everything that he said was music to this Canucks fans' ears. The fact that he's healthy, the fact that he wants to stay in Vancouver, the fact that he loves his teammates, and he wants to get going, and he thinks that the team is ready to go now. So when push comes to shove, it'll be very interesting to see not only what happens this season, right, if the hockey comes back, but in the bigger picture, what's going to happen with Jacob Markstrom? Some are saying $6.5 million. Maybe the price tag started at $5 or $5.5 at the start of the season, and as the season went on and he showed how good he was, that price tag seemed to go up $6 or $6.5 million. Maybe it's 4 or 5 or 6 years. Do you want to give that much to a 30-year-old goaltender? Because I guess on the flip side is the harsher business side is you don't want to overpay goaltenders. We see a lot of examples across the league where teams have put too much money into their goaltending tandem, or at least their starting goalie, and they haven't really spread the cap money out well enough. So I think that's one of the biggest balancing acts the Canucks management is going to have to encounter over the next few months and few weeks and few months, as they not only try and land Jacob Markstrom to a contract, but you have Tyler Toffoli, you have Chris Tanev, you have Troy Stecher, you have Jake Virtanen, you have all these guys that Fantenberg, Levo, you have all these guys that are UFAs or RFAs. I'm not at all saying that they're going to bring all these guys back, but we know that there's at least 7 or 8 guys that are on expiring contracts, and the Canucks will have to figure out what to do with them. But today, it was about Jacob Markstrom, and it was about seeing that he was healthy, and hearing that he was ready to go, and hearing that he wants to stay in Vancouver. So Canucks fans, let me know what you think. If you were able to see the Zoom live, or if you just basically on what I just said here, what are your thoughts on Markstrom? Ultimately, do the Canucks need him? Do you want him to come back? Or do you think it's time to free up that money to be able to sign other players and then put your hope and trust in Thatcher Demko? Leave a comment below. I would love to read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Enjoy the day. Be safe. Be healthy. Take care of yourselves and of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.